Hey everyone, it's Mr. Hollywood, and today I will be doing the Battle of the Finchers, Se7en versus Fight Club. And depending on how this video does, I might do this with more directors where they have like two movies that feel like similar-ish, so we'll see how that goes. And that actually reminds me, later this year, I'm just doing a big director showdown, not in terms of their movies, well, I take it back. Yes, in terms of movies, but not in terms of like one individual movies, like a movie versus movie by the director, just based on their whole filmography. And I have like a list of like 72 directors who I'm going to include. However, that's going to be a long time away because I have to watch their movies, like at least a vast majority of them. And it's going to be a long time before that happens, but I do want to know that video is in the works. Anyways, let's just get started by talking about the Battle of the Finchers, Fight Club versus Se7en. And I just even want to say, if you guys have not seen either, go watch both and then watch this video, because I am definitely going to spoil this. I'm not even going to try to be anti-spoiler on this one. So it's either you're in or you're out. Anyways, let's just start. So, and I'm just going to break the films down a bit and then I'll tell you the winner at the end. So, Fight Club tells a story about Tyler Durden hosting a so-called Fight Club. And then the narrator, played by Edward Norton, joins the Fight Club, and you kind of see his side of the story throughout the whole movie, and then you kind of see how their lives are very messed up, and you know how like you see their relationships with everyone around them. I just think it was perfect setup, and then it ends with that you realizing that the narrator is also Tyler Durden, that they're somehow the same people, and you know by the end, buildings were exploding. I will just say, like, you might know, if you guys have seen it, you guys know what I'm talking about. That shot where like he was punching himself like multiple times. I think that was some brilliant filmmaking. And at the end, so like the buildings explode, and Edward Norton kills Brad Pitt, and then he got shot. So you think if he's taken later he's gonna die, but the villains basically, they succeed their destiny, but they aren't like the villains, not necessarily because you know where they're coming from, but because they're the ones of the story, and they're not like, it's not like you're rooting for someone to take them down. They're just like pure evil. But yeah, Fight Club is brilliant, and Se7en has like, maybe some slow setup. So in terms of like what movie is more entertaining, I'm gonna go with Fight Club. But in terms of like just thematics and acting, Se7en easily takes the top spot. Just from the first hour where you see a detective stuff, or Morgan Freeman doing detective stuff, and the Batman definitely took some inspiration from that, kind of like how the Dark Knight took some inspiration from Heat. Actually, that would be a good one, Heat versus Collateral, his two nighttime thrillers. Maybe I'll do that next. But anyway, so you see Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt doing these detective stuff. And then Kevin Spacey's character, John Doe, who is one of my favorite villains already, even though he didn't even have that much screen time, he basically reveals himself saying, I'm the person who you want to find. And then those last 30 minutes are just awesome. The car scene with the three of them, and then the line, "What's in the box?" which is a pretty iconic line. And then you obviously, without even seeing the box, that it's Brad Pitt's wife, who was played by Gwyneth Paltrow. It was her head, and that he killed her. And then they actually made the bold decision to let the villain win, and he basically won, not because the other characters died, but because he died and got what he wanted. And then Brad Pitt he created the seventh deadly sin. Like he committed the seventh deadly sin, and then he went to jail for something that the villain, like, I think you could argue that if there's times where the villains got what they deserve, you could argue that this is one of those times. However, they still won because they got their way and they got the reactions, and they were the genius. And yeah, I just think in terms of just filmmaking, this film was just awesome. And yeah, just, you know, when Brad Pitt went to jail and just, you know, like, you kind of just see that he corrupted into madness. So I mean, it was tragic, but yeah, Se7en was really sad at the end, and it was a really beautiful ending. And it's not even that it was beautiful, like, you know, it felt like you're satisfied. It's beautiful in terms of it feels satisfying because, you know, there was the resolution, but in a bittersweet way because, like, the villain won, he got what he wanted, and then, you know, by the end you kind of see just Morgan Freeman's out on his own. So yeah, it is a really sad ending. So in terms of, like, what I'm gonna rewatch more, it's probably gonna be, or no, it's definitely gonna be Fight Club. Just in terms of, like, thematics and acting, 7. So honestly, so I mean, now this is, like, really hard to, like, to even try to separate them, because, like, even though they're, like, there's a lot of stuff that are definitely similar, mainly Fincher's direction and also just Brad Pitt, which I think he was a little bit similar in both, even though in one he was really crazy, and in one he was trying to not be so evil, but then he made the wrong decision. But I mean, now it almost just comes down to personal preference, and, like, I would say if I was going off of personal preference, Fight Club would win that. But now, it's kind of the real thing. What do I think is objectively the better movie? And, like, this could change. It's one of those things, if you asked me tomorrow, it could change. And maybe in a few months I'll do an updated thoughts. And, you know, I actually haven't seen, it's been, like, only a few, it hasn't been that long since I saw either of these movies. So I have a little bit more fresh thoughts. However, right now, the winner of the Battle of the Finchers, I'm gonna give it to Fight Club. And it's almost hard to say, because I, like, even literally said 7, like, in terms of thematics and actions better, but in story they're just about equal. And Fight Club is more entertaining. It's definitely a movie I'm definitely gonna rewatch more. So, I mean, I will give Fight Club the edge. However, if someone gives 7 the edge, I'm not gonna even be mad, because this is like picking your favorite children. You're gonna upset someone, and it scars you. You know, yeah, it deeply scars me to have to pick between them, but I go with my guts. Fight Club is the winner of the Battle of the Director Showdowns Part 1. Now, thanks for watching. Feel free to share what movie you think won down below in the comments, and I cannot wait to do more of these. Now, thanks for watching, and peace out.